Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is Judah Nick with Awaken Israel. Gonna be continuing the scripture reading of Judges. And yeah, gonna give all praise to Yahweh Hashem Yashai. And I hope it's edifying to someone, or at least one, person. And yeah, let's get into it. Oh, also I have other playlists on the channel. If anyone would like to take a look at those, hopefully they're edifying also. But today we'll be continuing with our Judges, chapter 7 to chapter 9. Alright, let's get it. Judges chapter 7 verse 1. Jerubbaal, who is in Gideon, and all the people that were with him rose up early and pitched beside the well of Harod, so that the host of the Midianites were on the north side of them, by the hill of Moreh in the valley. And the Lord said unto Gideon, the people that are with thee are too many for me to give the Midianites into their hands, lest Israel vaunt themselves against me, saying, mine own hand hath saved me. Now therefore go to proclaim in the ears of the people, saying, whosoever is fearful and afraid, let him return and depart early from Mount Gilead. And there returned of the people 20 and 2,000, and there remained 10,000. Okay, so by the looks of it, the father is going to trim down on the amount of Israelites there, because he doesn't want the Israelites to think that they saved themselves from their enemies, because the father wants them to depend on him, so they trust in the Lord and not in their own might. But let's continue. Verse 4. And the Lord said unto Gideon, the people are yet too many, bring them down unto the water, and I will try them for thee there. And it shall be that of whom I say unto thee, this shall go with thee, the same shall go with thee, and of whomsoever I say unto thee, this shall not go with thee, the same shall not go. And he brought down the people unto the water, and the Lord said unto Gideon, every one that lappeth of the water with his tongue, as a dog lappeth, him shalt thou set by himself. Likewise every one that boweth down upon his knees to drink. And the number of them that lapped, putting their hands to their mouth, were 300 men, but all the rest bowed down upon their knees to drink water. And the Lord said unto Gideon, by the 300 men that lapped will I save you, and deliver the Midianites into thine hand, and let all the other people go every man unto his place. So the father took us down from how many was this? Salakia. So from 22,000 to 300 men. Wow. So the father's really trying to prove a point, like he saved us, not we saved ourselves. Think about it. We went from an army of 22,000 men, or 22,000 men, to 300 men. That's crazy. But hey, let's continue. Verse 8. And the people took viticles in their hand and their trumpets, and he sent all the rest of Israel every man unto his tent, and retained those 300 men. And the host of Midian was beneath him in the valley. And it came to pass that same night that the Lord said unto him, arise, get thee down unto the host, for I have delivered it into thine hand. But if thou fear to go down, go thou with Purah thy servant down to the host. So host means army, by the way, if anyone doesn't know. And thou shalt hear what they say, and afterwards shall thine hands be strengthened to go down unto the host. Then went he down to Purah, his servant, unto the outside of the armed men that were in the host. And the Midianites and the Amalekites and all the children of the east lay along in the valley like grasshoppers for multitude. And their camels were without number as the sand by the seaside for multitude. Salakia. And when Gideon was come, behold, there was a man that told a dream unto his fellow, and said, Behold, I dream a dream, and lo, a cake of barley bread tumbled into the host of Midian, and came unto a tent, and smote it that fell, and overturned it, and that tent lay along. And his fellow answered and said, This is nothing, else save the sword of Gideon the son of Joash, a man of Israel. For into his hand have Yahweh delivered Midian and all the host. And it was so, when Gideon heard the telling of the dream and the interpretation thereof, that he worshipped and returned into the host of Israel, and said, Arise, for the Lord hath delivered unto your hand the host of Midian. And he divided the 300 men into 3 companies, and he put a trumpet into every man's hand with empty pitchers and lamps within the pitchers. And he said unto them, Look on me, and do likewise, and behold, when I come to the outside of the camp, it shall be that as I do, so shall you do. When I blow with a trumpet, and I with all that are with me, then blow ye the trumpets also on every side of all the camp, and say, The sword of the Lord and of Gideon. So Gideon and the 100 men that were with him came unto the outside of the camp in the beginning of the middle watch. So I just want to pause there. That dream was basically a dream of Gideon winning against the Midians. Alright, let's continue. Verse 19. And they had but newly set the watch, and they blew the trumpets and brake the pitchers that were in the hands. And the 3 companies blew the trumpets and brake the pitchers, and held the lamps in their hands, and the trumpets in their right hands to blow withal. And they cried, The sword of the Lord and of Gideon. So when it says they cried, it means they shouted it. For example, like, cry loud, spare not, show my people Israel their transgressions. The cry is also referring to being very loud. And they stood every man in his place round about the camp, and all the host ran and cried and fled. Now they're literally crying. They're literally crying in tears. And the 300 blew the trumpets. And the Lord set every man's sword against his fellow, even throughout all the host. And the host fled to Beth Shittah in Zerath, and to the border of Abel Meholah unto Tabath. And the men of Israel gathered themselves together out of Naphtali, and out of Asher, and out of all Manasseh, and pursued after the Midianites. And Gideon sent messengers throughout all of Ephraim, saying, Come down against the Midianites, and take before them the waters unto Bethbarah and Jordan. Then all the men of Ephraim gathered themselves together, and took the waters of Bethbarah and Jordan. And they took 2 princes of the Midianites, Oreb and Zeb, and they slew Oreb upon the rock Oreb, and Zeb they slew at the winepress of Zeb, and pursued Midian, and brought the heads of Oreb and Zeb to Gideon on the other side of Jordan. Chapter 8. Chapter 8, verse 1. And the men of Ephraim said unto him, Why hast thou served us thus, that thou callest not when thou wentest to fight with the Midianites? And they did chide with him sharply. And he said unto them, What have I done now in comparison of you? Is not the gleaning of the grapes of Ephraim better than the vintage of Abiezer? Back if I'm butchering the name. Yahweh have delivered into your hands the princes of Midian, Oreb and Zeb, and what was I able to do in comparison of you? Then there was anger. Then the anger was abated towards him, when he had said that. And Gideon came to Jordan and passed over, he and the 300 men that were with him, faint, yet pursuing them. And he said unto the men of Succoth, Give, I pray you, loaves of bread unto the people that follow me. For they be faint, and I am pursuing after Zebath and Zalmunna, kings of Midian. And the princes of Succoth said, Are the hands of Zebah and Zalmunna now in thine hand, that we should give bread unto thine army? And Gideon said, Therefore, when the Lord have delivered Zebah and Zalmunna into mine hand, then I will tear your flesh with thorns of the wilderness and with briars. And he went up thence to Peniel, and spake unto them likewise. And if the men of Peniel answered him as the men of Succoth answered him. So they're basically saying, if they had already had them in their hand, they would have gave them bread, like those kings or the princes of Succoth. I don't know, the kings of Midian, if they had been in Gideon's hand, then they would have given them bread. However, they didn't. So they basically refused, like, y'all ain't gonna do what y'all was gonna do. That's what it's appearing like to me, anyways. Alright, let's continue. Verse 9, and he spake also unto the men of Peniel, saying, When I come again in peace, I will break down this tower. Now Zebah and Zalmunna were in Karkar, and their hosts with them, about 15,000 men, all that were left of all the hosts of the children of the east, for there fell 120,000 men that drew sword. Wow. And Gideon went up by the way of them that dwelt in the tents of the east of Nobah and Jogbehah, and smote the host, for the host was secure. And when Zebah and Zalmunna fled, he pursued after them, and took the two kings of Midian, Zebah and Zalmunna, and discomfited all the host. And Gideon the son of Joash returned from battle before the sun was up. So he returned before the next day, because if you know scriptures, the next day starts when the sun begins to rise. That's the beginning of the new day, or a new day. Verse 14, and called a young man of the men of Succoth, and inquired of him, and he described unto him the princes of Succoth, and the elders thereof, even 17 men. And he came unto the men of Succoth, and said, Behold, Zebah and Zalmunna, with whom you did upbraid me, saying, Are the hands of Zebah and Zalmunna now in thy hand, that we should give bread unto thine men that are weary? And he took the elders of the cities, and the thorns of the wilderness and briars, and with them he taught the men of Succoth. And he beat down the tower of Peniel, and slew the men of the city. Oof. So Gideon returned as he did, as the Lord said he would, and he got the two kings. And he came back to basically saying, Did you not say we was going to get them? And he taught the men of Succoth. Yep. And he slew the men of the city. Alright, verse 18, Salakia, verse 18. Then said he unto Zebah and Zalmunna, What manner of men were they whom you slew at Tabah? And they answered, As thou art, so were they. Each one resembled the children of a king. And he said, They were my brethren, even the sons of my mother. As the Lord liveth, if ye had saved them alive, I would not slay you. And he said unto Jethro, his firstborn, Up and slay them. But the youth drew not his sword, for he feared, because he was yet a youth. Then Zebah and Zalmunna said, Rise thou and fall upon us, for as a man is, so is his strength. And Gideon arose and slew Zebah and Zalmunna, and took away the ornaments that were on their camels' necks. Then the men of Israel said unto Gideon, Rule thou over us, but both thou and thy son and thy sons also, for thou hast delivered us from the hand of Midian. And Gideon said unto them, I will not rule over you, neither shall my son rule over you, the Lord shall rule over you. So, if we read further on in scripture, you would know that The only person who's ever meant to rule over us is the Heavenly Father. That was it. But because, the Israelites wanted to be like other nations, he put his own people to lead over his own people. However, originally, as intended, the Lord, Yahweh or Yahushai, well, not even Yahushai was technically meant to rule, but, Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, was meant to rule always over us. And Gideon said unto them, I will desire a request of you, that you would give me every man of the earrings of his prey, for they had the golden earrings because they were Ishmaelites. And they answered, we will willingly give them. And they spared a garment and did cast therein every man of the earrings of his prey. And the weight of the golden earrings that he requested was 1,700 shekels of gold, beside ornaments and colours and purple raiment that was on the kings of Midian, and beside the chains that were about their camels' necks. Okay. Verse 27. And when Gideon made an ephod, therefore, so that's like a garment, and put it in his city, then even in Ophir, and all Israel went thither a whoring after it, which thing became a snare unto Gideon and to his house. Okay. Thus was Midian subdued before the children of Israel, so that they lifted up their heads no more. And the country was in quietness 40 years in the day of Gideon. And Jerubbaal the son of Joash went and dwelt in his own house. And Gideon had 70 sons of his body begotten, for he had many wives. And his concubines that was in Shechem, she also bare him a son, whose name was he called Abimelech. And Gideon the son of Joash died in a good old age, and was buried in the sepulchre of Joash his father in Ophrah of the Abiezrites. And it came to pass, as soon as Gideon was dead, that the children of Israel turned again. Bruh. We stayed doing this, just like in the book of Lamentations. As soon as the person the Father gives us is gone or dies, Israel goes back to backsliding. Just how Moses went up the mountain, came back down, Israel went back to backsliding. But hey, let's continue. And went a whoring after Balaam, and made Baal-berith their god. Remember, see, made Baal-berith their god, because these are all gods made out of hands. They're not real gods. They're just wood and stone or whatever material they can find to make whatever they like in their mind. Verse 34. And the children of Israel remembered not their Lord their God, who delivered them out of the hands of all their enemies on every side. Neither showed they kindness to the house of Jerubbaal, namely Gideon, according to all the goodness which he had showed unto Israel. Chapter 9. And Amalek the son of Jerubbaal went into Shechem unto his mother's brethren, and communed with them, and with all the family of the house of his mother's father, saying, Speak, I pray you, in the ears of all the men of Shechem, whether it is better for you, either that all the sons of Jerubbaal, which are 70 persons, reign over you, or that one reign over you. Remember also that I am your bone and your flesh. And his mother's brethren spake of him in the ears of all the men of Shechem all these words, and their hearts inclined to follow Abimelech, for they said, He is our brother. And they gave him 70 pieces of silver out of the house of Baal-berith, wherewith Abimelech hired vain and light persons which followed him. And he went unto his house of Ophrah, and slew his brethren the sons of Jerubbaal, being 70 persons, upon one stone. Notwithstanding, yet Jotham the younger son of Jerubbaal was left, for he hid himself. All the men of Shechem gathered together, and all the house of Milo, and went and made Amalek king by the plain of the pillar that was in Shechem. And when they told it to Jotham, he went and stood in the top of Mount Gerizim, and lifted up his voice and cried and said unto them, Hearken unto me, you men of Shechem, that God hearken unto you. The three went forth on a time to anoint king over them. They also said unto the olive tree, Reign thou over us. But the olive tree said unto them, the Father put the spirit on the tree to speak, that's crazy. But the olive tree said unto them, Should I leave my fatness, whether by me thy honor God and man, and go to be promoted over these trees? And the trees said to the fig tree, Come down and reign over us. But the fig tree said unto them, Should I forsake my sweetness and my good fruit, and go to be promoted over the trees? Then the trees unto the vine, Come down and reign over us. And the vine said unto them, Should I leave my wine, which cheereth God and man, and go to be promoted over the trees? Then said all the trees unto the bramble, Come down and reign over us. And the bramble said unto the trees, If in truth you anoint me king over you, then come and put your trust in my shadow. And if not, let fire come out of the bramble and devour the cedars of Lebanon. Now therefore, if you have done truly and sincerely, in that you have made Amalek king, and if you have dealt well with Jebril and his house, and have done unto him according to the deservings of his hands. For my father fought for you, and he adventured his life far, and delivered you out of the hand of Midian. And you are risen up against my father's house this day, and have slain his sons, 70 persons, upon one stone, and have made Amalek the sons of his maidservant king over the men of Shechem, because he is your brother. Verse 19. If then you have dealt truly and sincerely with Jeroboam, and with his house this day, then rejoice ye in Amalek, and let him also rejoice in you. But if you cannot, let fire come out of Amalek, and devour the men of Shechem and the house of Milo, and let fire come out from the men of Shechem and from the house of Milo, and devour Amalek. And Jonathan ran away and fled, and went to Beer and dwelt there, for fear of Amalek his brother. When Amalek had reigned 3 years over Israel, then God set an evil spirit between Amalek and the son of Rechem. So, when people are fighting, chances are the Father might have sent a spirit to get people to fight, man. The Father has a purpose for everything. A just balance is the Lord's delight. Let's continue. And the men of Shechem dealt treacherously with Amalek, that the cruelty done to 70 men of Jeroboam might come, and their blood be laid upon Amalek their brother, which slew them, and upon the men of Shechem, which aided him in killing of his brethren. And the men of Shechem set lairs in wait for him in the top of the mountains, and they robbed all that came along that way by them. And it was told Amalek. And Gower, the son of, I forgot to say, stealing and robbing is a sin. Oh, don't do that. And Gower, the son of Ebed, came with his brethren and went over to Shechem. And the men of Shechem put their confidence in him. And they went out into the fields and gathered their vineyards, and trod grapes and made merry. And I went into the house of their God, and did eat and drink, and cursed Amalek. And Gil the son of Ebed said, Who is Amalek, and who is Shechem, that we should serve him? Is he not the son of Jeroboam, and Zerubbabel his officer? Serve the men of Hamor, the father of Shechem, for why should we serve them? And would to God his people were under my hand, then would I remove Amalek. And he said to Amalek, increase thine army and come out. And when Zerubbabel, the ruler of the city, heard the words of Gal, the son of Ebed, his anger was kindled. And he sent messages unto Amalek privily, saying, behold, Gal the son of Ebed and his brethren be come to Shechem. And behold, the 40 cities, they fortify the cities against thee. Now therefore, up by night thou and the people that is with thee, and lie in wait in the field. And it shall be that in the morning, as soon as the sun is up, thou shalt rise early and set upon the city. And behold, when he and the people that is with him come out against thee, then mayest thou do to them as thou shalt find occasion. And Amalek rose up, and all the people that were with him, by night, and they laid waste against Shechem in 4 companies, so like 4 mini armies. And Gal the son of Ebed, went out and stood in the entering of the gate of the city. And Amalek, they came down. Alright, we're gonna start from verse 35 again. And Gal the son of Ebed went out and stood in the entering of the gate of the city. And Abimelech rose up, and the people that were with him from lying in wait. And when Gal saw the people, he said unto Zebul, behold, there come down people from the top of the mountains. Then Zebul said unto him, thou seest the shadows of the mountains as if they were men. Gal spake again and said, see, there come people down from the middle of the land, and another company come down from the plain of Minion. Then said Zebul unto him, where is now thy youth, wherewith thou saidest, who is Abimelech, that we should serve him? Is not this the people that thou hast despised? Go out, I pray now, and fight with them. And Gal went out before the men of Shechem, and fought with Abimelech. And Abimelech chased him, and he fled before him. And many were overthrown and wounded, even unto the entering of the gate. And Abimelech, though at Arumah, as Zebul thrust out Gal into his brethren, that they should not dwell in Shechem. And it came to pass in the morning that the people went out into the field, and they told Abimelech, and he took the people and divided them into 3 gates, and laid wait in the field, and looked, and behold, the people come forth out of the city, and he arose up against them, and smote them. And Abimelech and the company was with him, and rushed towards and stood in the entrance of the gate. And the 2 other companies ran upon all the people that were in the fields, and slew them. And Abimelech fought against all the city all that day, and he took the city and and he and all the people that were with him, and Abimelech took an axe in his hand and cut down a bur from a tree, and took it and laid it on his shoulder, and said unto the people that were with him, what have ye seen me do? Make haste and do as I have done. It's make haste, so I'll move more quickly, and do as I have done. And all the people likewise cut down every man of his borough, and formed Abimelech, and put them to the hold, and set the hold on fire upon them, so that all the men of the tower of Shechem died, also about 1,000 men and women. Then went Abimelech to Zebaz, and encamped against them. Zebaz and took it, but there was a strong tower in the city, and neither fled all the women and men. They all stood at the city and shut it to them, and gathered them to the top. Uh, let's go verse 50. Verse 50. Then Abimelech to went to Slacker, if I missed the verse. Then went Abimelech to Thebez and encamped against Thebez and took it. But there was a strong tower within the city, and thither fled all the men and women, and all they of the city, and shut it to them, and got them up to the top of the tower. And Abimelech came unto the tower, and fought against it, and went hard unto the door of the tower to burn it with fire. And they said to him, cast a piece of milestone upon Abimelech's head, and all to break his skull. Then he called hastily unto the young man, his arm bearer, and said unto him, draw thy sword and slay me, for men like that man say not of me. A woman slew him, and his young man thrust him, and he died. And when the men of Israel saw Abimelech was dead, departed every man unto his house. Thus God rendered the wickedness of Abimelech, which he did unto his father, saying, in every 70 brethren, and all evil of men of Shechem did not, and all the evil of the men of Shechem did Yahweh render upon their heads, and upon them that came to the house of Jonathan the son of Jerubbaal. Okay, for this lesson, guys. This will be part of the playlist on YouTube. There are other playlists as well. Yeah, once again, all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yashai. Yeah. Sawada.